Welcome back to all my YouTube browsers and subscribers, and thanks once more for taking the time to check out more of my vintage off-road motorcycles. Now, in this continuing series of World of Classic Dirt Bike videos, today we're going to take a look at Richie McFadden's 1981 250 Reed Valve Maico. Now, you may remember that in a previous video we featured Richie's 1977 AW 400 Maico with those bright yellow wheels. So in this clip I thought that I would follow it up by showing you Richie's current race bike. Richie bought this bike in 2016 after he then left the pre-1977 class and mothballed his old AW400 Maico. Now, of course, when Richie got the bike, it was not in as good condition as you see here in these pictures, and since buying the bike, Richie has added a few nice trick parts to the machine. Now, as you can see, this particular 1981 250 Maico frame is the Enduro version, which of course is easily identifiable by the frame loop which curves over the top of the rear mudguard. Now, the bike is also road registered and has its own V5 paperwork should Richie ever find the need to take it on to the UK roads. Now, of course, the bike is essentially a 1981 250 Maico with the Reed Valve motor, and this particular bike took Richie to a third place finish in the Scottish Championship, the very first year Richie ever raced it. Now, with regards to the 250 motor, Richie has opted to stay with the original Bing carburetor on this Maico, although many other riders do tend to change these for more modern Mikunis or other makes, just in order to help atomize the fuel that little bit better. Now, of course, this 81 motor has a Reed Valve intake which makes the engine use the fuel better and basically just improves the gas flow, especially when you are exiting slow corners. It usually eliminates the motor bogging down when the revs are low, and it takes away the need to slip the clutch as you would sometimes do if you were riding the piston port equivalent. Now, with regards to the seat, Richie used the original base and seat foam from the original bike and had this recovered with this beautiful yellow and red cover from Racebase, the Maico parts supplier here in the UK. Now, when it comes to the rear suspension on these 81 Maicos, there are of course a multitude of different variations and other configurations of rear shocks you can source for these Maicos, and most do the job amicably. Although Richie has not scrimped on this particular occasion by going for the very best quality available, and few would argue that these Öhlins piggyback shocks, although not cheap by any standards, are very hard to beat in terms of outright quality. Now, the previous owner of this bike changed the original plastic airbox by substituting it for this very nice aluminium one, although what the advantages of the alloy box over the plastic one I'm not quite sure, but nevertheless it still looks the part and looks very functional on Richie's machine. Now, this lovely billet aluminium chain guide of course is not a standard fitting by Maico, but this actual part came from Maico only. Now, you may also have noted that this is not the original swing arm for an 81 250 Maico. This is also a Maico only swing arm from the USA. Now Richie's bike has also had various pieces anodised in gold from Bill Brown's Worldsport Maico workshop in Cumbria. So the rear brake lever, the alloy ignition cover and rear brake plate all add that little bit of bling to what is of course already quite a nice looking little machine. Now the exhaust and tailpipe are very high quality parts from Racebase, again here in the UK, who manufacture many replacement parts for these old Twinshock Maicos, and it's worthwhile having a quick look at their website if you're looking for parts for your old race bike. Now naturally these are not the original wheels for this Maico. These high quality SM Pro Platinum rims and heavy duty spokes were replaced by Richie when he first purchased the bike, and these wheels and spokes were rebuilt by the world famous Johnny Bunga. Of course the front forks are the standard 1981 Maico 250 units. Now some of the smaller little ancillary items fitted to the bike are a set of quality rental bars with a Pico control levers and a set of Wolf grips. But Richie has also went a step further here by fitting a pair of Acerbis handguards, which are there to try and stop any stones or other debris damaging his hands during a racing situation. Now of course Maico had built some really decent motocross bikes up until the early 80s, culminating in of course with arguably their best ever creation, the extremely potent and hugely successful 1981 490 Mega 2 rocket ship. Now the iconic 490's little brother featured here was still a decent little machine, although for a 250 some say it was still vastly underpowered, but it could still hustle you around the track if the outlay was a tight and twisty affair, and of course if you had a decent rider on board. And so there we have it. That's Richie McFadden's 1981 250 Reed Valve Maico Twinshocker. And just before we hear the bike start up, look out for more vintage classic dirt bikes here on my channel from the 2019 Telford Classic Dirt Bike Show on the 16th and 17th of February. This video was brought to you in association with Worldsport Motocross Race and Leisure Wear. and also in association with VMX Magazine, the world's undisputed #1 publication for all your vintage and classic dirt bike motorcycles.